Hey guys, it's me again, and I want to say a couple of things. Uh, Not sure how long this video is going to be, but I would say so far my second favorite handheld so far would be the PS Vita. I bought mine the week it came out, uh, the Wi-Fi edition, and I have to say that it really surprised me. Really surprised me. The OLED screen was beautiful. Controls, it felt weighty, you know. Didn't feel like a little cheap toy. Uh, the games were really good, especially first-party games. You look at Uncharted, you look at Killzone, PlayStation Battle Royale, really good graphics. You could tell Sony really put forth some effort into it at first. Then, I don't know what happened. Actually, I do have an idea of what happened. They just got lazy with it, got sorry. It didn't sell what they wanted it to sell. And they say, you know what? Bump it. You know, let's focus on the PS4. But when you spend millions of dollars on R&D, and within the first year, or a little bit after the first year, you drop support, what's the point? When you don't put commercials out, I saw maybe 2 or 3 commercials when it was either Resistance or one of the baseball games came out. What's that? MLB The Show or whatever it was. I only saw 2 commercials for the Vita that I can actively remember, and I don't understand that. You know, you spend all that money, and then you just drop support. Where were the big name games? If you look at the PSP, you know, it didn't sell anywhere near as many units as the DS, but we had a big variety of games. You know, the sports fans got their sports games, their NBA games, their wrestling, their racing games. The action fans got their shooters, you know. The fighters fans got their fighting games. Tekken and I'm sure there's a couple of more fighting games on. I don't do fighters, but I mean, the guys that like puzzles got their puzzle games. So every type of genre was covered. You know, the shooter fans got their shoot. You know, everything was covered, and it still didn't sell anywhere near as many units as the DS. And yet Sony supported it. Third parties supported it. But yet, you can probably use the excuse about pirates and all that kind of stuff, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't really buy that. But yet here comes the Vita. You know, one of the most powerful handhelds ever, at least 5 years ago. You give it a year, and that's it. What makes matters worse is you get the big name franchises, you Call of Duty, the Resistance, the Borderlands, and yet you put those 3 key games that really could have sold systems. You do not let the original developers or somebody who knew what they were doing with the Vita coding aspects work on those games. You hand them over to some C-level port guys. And that's why we got crappy versions of Call of Duty, crappy version of Resistance, you know? And then you get mad when the game doesn't sell what you want it to do, and you drop support. I don't get it. I've said all this before in a different video, I know. But with that being said, with all the missteps that Sony did regarding the Vita, I have to say this one thing, and it's going to shock you when I say it. I'm glad they did what they did for the sole reason that it made me broaden my horizons when it comes to games. If you look at my PSP collection, I've got over 100 plus games. RPGs, shooters, racers, one fighter, sci-fi, I mean, everything. But what I don't have are these games right here that I'm going to show you. Thanks to the Vita being in the position it's in, I've been forced to widen my horizons when it comes to video games and try things that I would never, ever, ever tried had they came out when the PSP was alive. And you know what? I'm going to hold off on showing these games. I'm going to show them in a different video. How about that? But I'm going to end this video with saying I'm glad that the Vita is in the position it's in. And you'll see why. Hang on.